guys, we are back. It is the next day. I ran out of time last night, got dark and had to grill some dinner, but I did get the majority of the roof on. You can see one spot right there is a little lacking, and it's not exactly even off the back, so I am going to fix that by cutting a couple little strips, like 12-inch strips, to make everything flush. That way the water runs off nice and far away from the firewood, keeping everything nice and dry. Okay, so now we got a nice even roof line here on the back. Those 4 pieces did the trick to seal up the back, and we can get to securing them on with some sheet metal screws. Okay guys, so I just got back from the hardware store. I made a small error. It only cost me about 10 minutes and about $8, but basically I had been attaching the roof or the tin to the pallet on the top with these 1/2 inch, self-tapping sheet metal screws. What I did not really think about is that because they're self-tapping, there's really only about a 1/4 inch of threads there, which was not really enough to make it through the 2 layers of tin, sometimes 3 layers of tin, now that I'm having this extra, little lip here, and go into the pallet. So some of the ones that I put in overnight had actually popped out. So I just got back with these larger 1-inch, self-tappers, which should go in totally fine and have plenty of threads to bite down into the pallet. And we're gonna put them in now. So just got done putting in the longer sheet metal screws. As you can see, I am without a doubt fairly certain that that roof is not going to go anywhere. Now, one of the last things I want to do before I paint this thing, because I'd really only like to have to paint it once, is somehow divide up the front rack from the back rack on both the big ones, and then somehow make some cubbies around one cubic foot in size. So I've been contemplating different ways to do this, and one idea, which I'm hoping might work and would be a good way to recycle some stuff, is these. These are all of the cut-off cages from all the, or some, not all, of the IBC totes that I have. And I also have a lot of these, see if I can get one out. A lot of these bars. Now these bars, as you can see, kind of have right angles on them with holes already drilled through, and I'm thinking if I can kind of use these as a cross piece, if I can, get it in there, maybe something like this, it'll create a little superstructure and might even offer a little structural rigidity. Here's Sarah.
Good. I haven't seen it since yesterday afternoon.
Yeah,
it really came together. It looks good.
Yeah, now I'm trying to figure out how to separate the front from the back here.
And why do we need to separate it?
Because they're going to be 2 separate, you can buy from that side or you can buy from this side that I'm on. And I don't want people thinking that, for the price that's going to be posted up above, that they can take the whole thing.
I think they might think that.
Right. That's why I want to separate it. Think that's a good idea?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, would people walk around to the other side? Would they think that there's wood on the other side?
Yeah, because it's going to be perpendicular to the driveway. So if the driveway goes this way, the wood stand is going to be this way, so you can see both sides.
Okay. It's coming together.
It sure
Think
is.
You'll finish it tonight?
I don't know. I got to figure out how to secure these in place. Once I figure that out, I think I'll be off to the races.
Okay. Well, you have all the time in the world. I'm going out to dinner with the girls tonight.
All right.
So you have no curfew.
No curfew. I don't have to cook dinner. I can just sit here and ponder.
Until the sun goes down.
Maybe even till after.
Yep.
All right, what are you gonna go do? Take the dogs for a walk?
One of them.
One of them. Notice I said dogs plural. We now
That'll
have
be for another video.
2 dogs here, but we will introduce the second guy once that cone is off his head.
Yeah.
All right, have a good walk. It's a beautiful day. This is what I just kind of came up with. I really wanted to use the whole cage idea, but what I quickly found out is that all of these cages are different sizes. There's different numbers of bars in them depending on whether they're round or square or the 275 gallon or the 330 gallon. So there really aren't any similarities between them. Whereas with these bars, they're all relatively similar and the same length. And if I just make an X here, I think that makes it like pretty clear that it's kind of like a divider. So I might get into using these cages for the cubby area here, but I think I'm just gonna use these bars to separate, the 2 big main chambers here, because it's 4 screws and super easy. I just have to bend these tabs a little bit and Bob's your uncle. So I'm gonna do that again over here. Okay, I'm gonna call that good, and I think it should be pretty clear that they're separated one side to another. Okay guys, I just came up with something that I think is pretty ingenious, if I do say so myself, and here it is. This is going to be my 1 cubic foot little loose stacks here, and what I did was I kind of made a sliding shelf here. I attached these 2 side rails, which are just these pieces that come across the top of the IBC totes. They're like straps, and screwed them in on either side at the 12-inch mark. And then I put in, one of these shelves. Now, the cool thing about this shelf is, if I can get the tape measure out, as you can see, we have 26 inches of overall, coverage. And I cut my wood to 32 inches, or 16 inches. So 2 stacks of it is going to be 32. So just like that, we just have a little bit of overhang on either side, like 2 inches of overhang on either side. And one of these pieces is good as a shelf. Now, in theory, I'm thinking that would work well enough. I haven't really tested it yet, but I have some firewood over there, and I'm gonna give it a test right now. Okay, so here's the first wood in the stand, and as you can see, it is in there with a nice little gap in between. I'm thinking that I really don't need a top shelf at all for these little stacks. I'm just gonna have 1, 2, and then a third one up top. So I'm thinking I might have spare crossbars here to put another X in the middle to kind of separate, again, the front from the back stacks. That way customers don't get confused. But yeah, I'm liking the looks of this. Okay, we just lost a bunch of progress here. As I was going to put in the rails for the second row, which would be like right here, I noticed something that could not be avoided, in that this board that was right here, as you can see, I didn't really realize how bad it was before, but it's super rotten. This is like the only board out of all these that I've noticed is rotten. So I'm gonna go rip one off another pallet and replace it. And then I had to take off the bracket and everything, which is right here. But you know what? Might as well do it right, because that board was going to be supporting a decent amount of weight between the, you know, at least the two levels. The bottom level would be on the main pallet, but the two levels of firewood up above it. So here we go. Okay, I'm back with a new board. It's an oak one that I took off a pallet. Fits perfectly, so I'm gonna screw this in, and hopefully we can stop running into issues here. Well, all right, guys, after a little bit of cutting, a little bit of bending, a little bit of screwing, unscrewing, and then screwing back in, I think we got it. So here we go. We have the firewood cubbies here. As you can see, the top one is full, the bottom two are not. I've put in yet another X crossbar divider to both kind of hold these shelves in place and serve as a visual representation of where their firewood ends. I have one stacked up to, you know, these lines, which is a cubic foot on this side. And just for visual representation to show, I got another one over here, and it works perfectly. I couldn't be more happy with how it came out. I don't think I have to worry about this metal, you know, like breaking or anything. It's not really holding much weight. It's just more of a visual representation. And then these shelves, you know, are holding just a little bit of weight here. So I think we are at the point now where I can empty that firewood out and we can start hitting this thing with the rattle can. I don't think we're gonna totally wrap it up today, but I'm gonna damn well try to at least get most of the painting done. So here we go. Alrighty, guys, 5 rattle cans of spray paint later, and the stand is painted. Obviously, I'm not bothering spraying the inside because that's going to be filled up with wood, but I think the outside looks pretty good. You know, for a rattle can, my fingers are definitely tired. So now we're going to move on to the kind of finishing touches. I just got done installing the money box and a motion activated light. If I cover up the solar panel, move around, should come on. Maybe not, it was just on. But yeah, the money box, this thing is like, I don't know, we'll see how it works. Obviously had to tag it, but it's pretty cheap, flimsy material. It only wanted me to put in, I don't know if you could see, like these 3 screws, but I actually went ahead and used 2 sheet metal screws, or not sheet metal screws, but the same self-tapping like sheet metal screws, I guess, or bolts that I used on the roof, and went through the back of the mailbox. That way at least it's solid. Before it was just attached at the top and you could kind of shake it around. So hopefully that'll deter people. I mean, you can kind of stick your hand in there. If it's this full with money though, then there's a problem. I should be emptying it sooner, or I'm just selling a ton of firewood, which I guess is a good thing. Now I'm going to enlist the help of Sarah to write up a sign, you know, for here. I'm thinking it'll say like firewood and then pay here or something. And then along the front, it'll be like $20, $5 per, you know, rack, and then $20. And then the same thing on the back. And then a big sign over here that says like firewood for sale or something like that. So we'll figure it out. Well, I am obviously no artist, but I think that should get the point across as far as the prices go. And I got another set on the back here. Sarah actually just went and ran out to get some actual like artist paintbrushes, because I think that might be a little bit easier to like paint the words and stuff on the sides. We were doing all this with a foam brush, and while it works, I don't know, I think we could do a little bit better. So she's on her way back with like a actual artist paintbrush that might be easier to write some letters. So we'll check back in. So Sarah got back a little while ago with this artist like paintbrush. Show them what she got going on here. And she is killing it. She's going over all the hack job stuff that I did. She just made this awesome sign for this side. And she also painted this sign over here. I also put up another motion activated light that'll be set differently than the paybox side. This one's gonna be just dim, like constantly all night, so it kind of illuminates the sign. And Sarah's gonna finish going over the rest of these. I feel like
an artist now.
Oh, you're definitely an artist, and a huge part to hopefully the firewood stand's success. Okay guys, so here we are right at the end of the driveway. We have the entrance to our property right here, and here is the firewood stand. So Sarah is going to be putting the first pieces in, and we're gonna fill this baby up.
Fill her up.
Looks great. Well, all right, guys, that is a wrap here. We got the firewood stand filled, and it took exactly 1/3 of a cord, or one IBC tote. Sarah helped me stack it up. I think she's starting to come around to the idea. What do you think?
I'll come around to it if people start buying it. Let's see.
People start buying it. Yeah, so a couple other little added things. I'm going to have a Venmo option. I sent away for some Venmo QR codes. The account is already set up, so they can pay directly to Venmo if they don't have any cash. But that is pretty much a wrap on the firewood stand for Dude Ranch DIY. We will see how it goes, and definitely be updating you. Well, all right, guys, that's gonna wrap up this video here. I'm glad I finally got this thing done. It ended up taking me about 3 afternoons after work, which isn't too bad for an amateur carpenter here. If you guys have any questions on how I built it or what materials I used, or if you have any feedback, feel free to throw it in the comment section down below. As always, if you like the video, give it a big old thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button down below. I'd really appreciate it. But for now, I'm Jake. This is Dude Ranch DIY. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you here next time.